Would you ever go to the moon, Grandma? There's your question right there.
Okay, there it is. Thank you.
All right. Things getting a little quiet at the table.
She's like, no. Moving on to the next topic.
Hey, Uncle Charlie, would you ever freeze yourself and come back at another time?
It's the morning scramble. Z102.9.
Should I do it with my teeth out front? Hey, I'm a nerd.
No, I need you to do this as best you can because this is not just nerd news. This is possible Thanksgiving dinner table conversation topics.
If there's a lull or if things are going in a weird direction,
Yep.
I got 3 that you can bring up.
Just whip it right around. We're not going to talk about politics anymore,
No.
Grandma. We're going to talk about...
On this 47th week of the year 2022, broadcasting from an elevation of 840 feet from a longitude of 91.72 degrees west and a latitude of 41.88 degrees north. Nerd News, topic number 1. Grandma, would you live on the moon?
Huh.
Good question.
That is a great question.
NASA's Orion spacecraft reached lunar orbit this week and flew 80 miles above the surface of the moon. This long-planned event to get to the moon has officially started.
Finally.
This is a key step in the space in NASA's Artemis program, which will send humans back to the moon. The last time we set foot on the moon was 1972.
That's a long time.
It's 50 years ago. If all goes according to plan, step 2, astronauts get to fly by it, don't get to go on it.
Why not?
2024, they're working their way through the process. There's a lot that goes into this. You don't just get in a spacecraft and go to the moon.
Let's go.
You want to, right?
I do.
But you got to make sure everybody's safe. You have the right trajectory. Eventually, by the end of the decade, so minus 8 years, Claire, not only will people be on the surface of the moon, they're going to live there for a while.
Colonize it?
I don't know if we're going to colonize it.
But like...
Hang out, like space station, like hang out for a while on the moon.
Okay.
That is the plan. Would you ever go to the moon, Grandma? There's your question right there.
Okay, there it is. Thank you.
All right. Things getting a little quiet at the table.
She's like, no. Moving on to the next topic.
Hey, Uncle Charlie, would you ever freeze yourself and come back at another time?
Huh.
Never thought of that, kid.
Let me put my beer down and think about it.
Newborn twins born in Oregon 3 weeks ago were produced from what are believed the longest frozen embryos ever.
What? How long?
The embryos went into storage April 22nd, 1992.
That's a long time.
And a family of 4, Philip and Rachel Ridgway, took possession. I don't know what the next step is there. I don't know how you claimed them. They're not hers, but they were available. And they went to the medical center and said, we would like to have a child, and we would like to take the oldest one you have. And
they ordered the oldest?
The oldest embryos, the ones that they believed were being neglected. And they wanted to bring it into the world.
Okay.
And thus, Lydia and Timothy Ridgway, twins, were born 3 weeks ago in Oregon. By the way, there are 1.5 to 3 million frozen embryos that wait to be thawed and transferred around the country.
That's wild.
I know. That's a lot.
We want the oldest
We want the
ones you
oldest. We want the
got.
ones that have been overlooked. It's their time. It's their time now. Said the Ridgways.
Wow.
Very nice of them.
Yeah, very
So now they're a
nice.
family of 6 children now. 2 adults and 6 kids.
They're a family of math.
There's a family of a lot of numbers. Hey, Grandpa Joe. What's your most prized possession?
Oh, good question.
Oh, I remember. Grandpa Joe. So
Playing the role of Grandpa Joe.
the sale of a T-Rex skeleton named Shen by a British auction house was canceled Monday after a paleontologist raised concerns that some of the bones in that skeleton belonged to another dinosaur.
Oh, no.
Shen was slated to go on the auction block in Hong Kong on November 30th, expected to fetch between $15 and $25 million. It's the first T-Rex ever to be sold in Asia on auction. However, the skeleton was contested in recent weeks by lawyers for the Black Hills Institute of Geological Research, who said that some of the bones in Shen's skeleton looked a lot like a T-Rex that this auction house sold in 2020 named Stan for $31.8 million. They took molds of all of the bones.
They weren't even real bones?
It sounds like Stan was real. Somebody took a mold of some of Stan's bones and the skull looks better with that bone than the Shen bone. I'll just replace it with this fake one.
No.
The Institute claims the owner of Shen used molds from the skull of Stan to enhance parts of the Shen skeleton. So off the auction block it goes, and now they're going to investigate dinosaur bone fraud.
What do you think about that, Grandpa Joe?
Hey, Grandpa Joe, what's your most prized possession? I used to own a dinosaur. I'm Joe.
That's the time you find out?
Maybe.
Thanksgiving.
A lot of times things are just like blurted out at the table. They're like, what?
You did?
You did?
You had a dinosaur?
I used to date Betty White. What?
What? Grandpa Joe!
Happy Thanksgiving. That's Nerd News.
Wow.